G'day again, Emil here from the Performance by Design System for a video on what we call the performance pendulum. Now, we often get asked by leaders, when do I wrap my arms around my team and support them, and when do I need to give them a push and challenge them, okay? And we talk about the pendulum swinging between support and challenge. And it's interesting because when I first got introduced to this line of work from Jared Murphy, one of our business partners and legends in our space, he talked about this concept of your culture being like a seesaw. It's always either working for you or potentially against you. So it's either growing or decreasing. I think the pendulum and the metaphor for that is a bit the same around the actions of leaders and when to challenge the team to new standards and when to sort of push back a little bit and help them off the ground. So we talk about support being that action of pulling up and even hugging. You know, when do we need a bit of a hug? And challenging, when do we need to push the team to new standards? And as I said, like the seesaw, it's a constant challenge, okay? And I had it in a recent experience with a client where a particular team we're working with were underperforming. The workshop was for a full day with the group, and the very big boss wanted to come in and she wanted to challenge the group and talk about their results. And I sort of said to her, look, we all know the results aren't great. Right now, I think we might need to come here, support this team, get them off the ground. Once they're back on their feet again, then we can drive the new standards. But right now, there's no need to give them a bit more of identification they're not performing well because they already know that, okay? So let's have a look at the model. Don't mind my graphics here. We'll work on a better model in the near future. But we talk about that support and challenge. And what's interesting here, when we look at adversity, you know, we're struggling with performance, we're going through some challenges, we have low performance. There's an opportunity here to learn through reflection. What's very important, and Ray Dalio brings this to light, pain plus reflection equals progress. What's important though when we do support is we don't let them off the hook in relation to just moving forward and continuing to doing what they're doing. We must reflect and we must make change. The resilience and the learning will come through the reflection while we're not performing at the rate we want. When we flick the pendulum over the other side, here's the actual opportunity to build resilience. It's a bit counterintuitive because a lot of people think, well, let's push them here while they're down because that's what they need to get up. It's a bit the opposite. We often build resilience and new standards of behavior and performance when we're actually going well because the people inside of your team are more likely to listen to that and go, yes, I can be better because their results are quite good. So when you look at the support side, high adversity, lots of challenges, low performance, but make sure you learn through reflection, okay? Dive into that pain a little bit because that's where the growth is. When the team's going well, you've got low barrier. So it's a big high opportunity to drive new results because performance is high, more likely to go, yeah, I can because they're feeling good about themselves. Here's a chance to build resilience and new standards, okay? Very interesting concept and metaphor there, but very important for you leaders out there. So let's have a look at some questions to consider. How are you managing the performance pendulum today? Do you find yourself challenging and pushing when you should be pulling your team up and giving them a bit of a hug, okay? Who within your team could be challenged to new levels? And identify someone in your team that might need a little support. If you want more information or context on this, by all means, give us a buzz. That's the performance pendulum.